Hello friends, in this video we will learn about the 3D visualization of the plot. Right, in the previous video we have seen about the multivariate linear regression. So that this video is a continuation of that. So in this video we will try understanding how do we make a 3D visualization and similar to univariate regression where we were trying to plot a line. Here we will be using a plane, right? So let's go step by step. What is the intention behind this? So I am trying to now consider two of the independent variables, hours studies were and hours slept, with respect to the dependent variable exam score, right? So let's write that. I'm trying to do the 3D visualization of hours studies versus hours slept versus exam score. That means exam score will be on one axis, hours studied and hours slept will be on the other axis. I have excluded one more variable, attendance. Why? Because I'll not be able to visualize that. Okay. So hence I have considered only two. Now, whatever is your assignment is, so try considering attendance versus hours studied and plot the exam score. That is your assignment, right? So now, in order to do this, so first thing is I have to do the scatter plot of hours studied and hours slept, like we did it for univariate regression, where we were trying to give the dots, right? That where we were putting a dots for the each of the points, right? Say similarly, we will be doing a scatter plot, and then we will create some kind of a grid. Okay, then we will do the x-axis labeling, y-axis labeling, z-axis labeling. Then we will give some title to this entire figure, and then we will try to show the figure. Right. The first step is, so I have to create now what should be the size of the figure. Right. So how do I give that? So fig figure, I'll have to give some coordinates or the size to tell that what is the size of my figure, right? And what is the kind of projection that I'm trying to do is 3D projection. Then I have to do now scatter plot of, what is that I have to do the scatter plot of? I have to consider now the data frame of hours studied and hours slept. That I'll indicate with the blue dots, right? Let me do that. Yes, I'm doing the now scatter plot of the actual data, right? I'm not showing you step by step. Why? Because you'll not be able to visualize right now. So now, whatever is, I'm trying to create a grid for my regression plane, right? So where I'll be considering the um, mesh grid, right? Where in which I'll be considering the data frames of hours studied, hours slept, and then I'll be trying to do the grid. So how do I create a grid? With the help of np dot mesh grid, right? So this is what I have plotted now, grids. Now what I'll do is I will plot this plane, regression plane. In a univariate regression, we had plotted a line. Now, since we have two independent variables, so that automatically gets converted into a plane, right? So once I do this, I should be able to display my regression plane, right? How I showed a straight line, now I'm trying to show in the form of a plane. So regression plane is being plotted now, and then labels, right? X-axis I have hours studied, y-axis I'm giving a hours slept, and z-axis I'm giving a exam score, right? So finally I'm giving a title as 3D regression plane attendance fixed at mean, right? So this is a title I'm giving. Okay. NP is not defined. Okay. So numpy we have not defined as. So let me import that. and add here. Okay, now let's see. Now you can see now on the x-axis I had hours studied, on the y-axis I had hours slept, and z-axis I have a exam scores. Now the line which was shown in the univariate regression has now converted into a plane. Similarly, higher dimension we will not be able to visualize, hence, so we will stop our discussion at this point. Okay. So this is what about multivariate linear regression. Why the name linear? In univariate as well as multivariate, we are assuming that there is a linear relationship that exists between dependent and independent variable. However, if there is no linear relationship, then we call that as a polynomial regression. That we will see in the next video. See you in the next video. Thank you.